It's time for the truth to come out. If you are a inmate or a backpacker kid or a troubled expat, a farang, this video will not be for you. This video will be triggering because the truth about Thailand. I am going to expose your island paradise. I spent 5 weeks there earlier in 2025 and I found it to be the most overhyped country I've ever been to. Now let me preface this by saying this video is not about the Thai people or the Thai culture or the country itself. It's a beautiful country with some of the nicest people, local people you will ever meet in your life. This video is specifically for the Farangs and all the foreigners ruining the beautiful country in Southeast Asia. So without further ado, this is going to be the truth about Thailand. Let's begin.
Just one day away by jet clipper lies the fabled land of Thailand.
Just a word of warning before I start, that this video could single-handedly destroy the Thai tourist industry. And I am acknowledging that that might be a risk I have to take, but the truth must come out. All you British blokes on holiday, all you Israeli expats, all you Scandinavian backpacker kids, I'm coming for you. Expose you and your country of Thailand. I would split Thailand up into two parts. As far as tourism goes, you would have the north, where you have Chiang Mai and Pai, and then you also have the south, and then you have all the islands in the Gulf of Thailand. Like you have Koh Samui, you have Koh Phangan, and you have Koh Tao. You also have further south, like Phuket, and then that's on the far west side. It's on the Indian Ocean, or the Andaman Sea. And then that's where you have Koh Phi Phi and Krabi and a lot of other very famous spots. Now I started in Bangkok and I immediately did not like Bangkok at all. You have a lot of stuff to do in Bangkok. You've got obviously a bunch of temples, a lot of sightseeing, great food, museums. You also have the infamous Koh San Road, which I think it's kind of like the Vegas Strip, I guess, of Bangkok, if that makes any sense. It's very touristy. There's a lot of degeneracy, strip clubs, bars, nightclubs, probably brothels if you looked hard enough, drugs. I personally thought it was quite disgusting. I didn't like Koh San Road. I stayed there for like 3 nights and then I headed north. I headed north to Chiang Mai on the train. Now the train journey to Chiang Mai, it's a full day. It's about 12 hours. It's a 12-hour journey on the train. It's a very beautiful, I recommend doing it, taking the train across Thailand. It's an amazing experience. You're gonna be uncomfortable, but it's very scenic. It's very blissful and peaceful, and it's a good way to see the country. I would recommend it. Chiang Mai is very popular. It's like the city of temples. You have so many temples to see. Chiang Mai actually was a pretty good, nice city. I liked it a lot. But same with Bangkok. Everywhere you go, it's just overrun with foreigners, with whiteys walking around. Mostly Israeli, but there are also a lot of Brits, a lot of Europeans in general. But it's just a huge influx of Israelis. The Israeli influx and the Israeli infestation only gets worse the even further north you go. So outside of Chiang Mai, I headed to Pai. Pai is an amazing little town. It's about 130 kilometers northwest of Chiang Mai is Pai. You go through the mountains. A lot of people rent bikes and tour up and through the mountains. That's how you get to Pai, or you could do what I did and I just took a bus. About a 4-hour journey. Pai, you have a lot to do. It's a hippie enclave, so there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of yoga. I met my 3rd day in Pai. I met a Dutch girl. She was in Pai on like a yoga retreat with her 2 German friends. They kind of took me under their wing a little bit. As far as spirituality goes, they took me to all the hippie parties and the psychedelic parties in Pai. I did an entire 5 grams of mushrooms one night with them, and I went to, it's called the Ecstatic Dance Party. That was very fun. And then after that, when that ended at like 2 in the morning, I rode back to my hostel on my motorbike, high on mushrooms. So that was fun. The tipsy tubing is nice in Pai as well. All the kids from all the hostels in the town, they get drunk and float down the river. And it's very fun. From Pai, I went back to Chiang Mai, and then from Chiang Mai, I went all the way back down. From Bangkok, I went to Surat Thani, which is basically gateway to the islands, like Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. Koh Samui is the bigger one of the three. It's got a lot of resorts, a lot of hotels, quite a bit of small cities on the island, a lot of Russian families. And then the second biggest one would be Koh Phangan. That has the infamous full moon party. That's where I stayed for a week for the New Year's Eve of 2024. I think it was one of the most lackluster things I've ever done in my life. You know, it was hyped up, one of the most hyped up events I've ever been to, and all it is 20,000 people drunk on the beach, and you can't even walk on the beach. It's so crowded. The beach is not that big, maybe like 600 meters long, and you have 20,000 people on the beach. Mostly Russians, mostly Israelis, mostly Europeans, mostly British people, and it's just kind of, there are better parties on planet Earth to go to. But I watched the ball roll, and I went back home and went to bed at like 12:15. Now, what I will say about these islands is they are some of the most beautiful places I've ever been, like natural beauty. I stayed for a week just photographing everything. So yeah, I did not make it to Koh Tao though. Koh Tao is supposed to be like to snorkel. That's what you do there, is you snorkel and then you just hang out with British people. I guess. I'm not into snorkeling. I think it's kind of a cult hobby. People who snorkel, they seem like they're in a cult. I don't know if like the fish or the coral reefs are like hypnotizing them, but Koh Tao gives me the same vibe as Utila in Honduras. It's just if you're there and you're not snorkeling, you're gonna get shunned by everybody. But yeah, rent motorbikes when you're on the islands. Koh Phangan and Koh Samui, rent motorbikes and just drive around and see the natural spots, and also go to the parties. But I'm just saying they're a little bit overhyped, and if you've been to any parties anywhere in the world, these will be a little lackluster. That's all I'm saying. Also, the people on these islands, the tourists, bro, are just some of the biggest doofuses you'll ever see in your life, the biggest dumbasses. Like their first time away from home, a lot of times they're just there in Thailand for 1 week on a 1 week bender before they go back to England or Copenhagen or wherever the hell they came from. And it's just not authentic backpacking culture. It's not authentic traveling culture. It's just kind of like the Disneyland of the whole world, you know? Just everyone and their madre is in Thailand. And you meet these people, all of them, on these islands, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Now, from Koh Samui, you head to, my next destination would be Koh Sak, which is in the south part of the country, towards the west. It's the giant national park. Now, this is surprisingly probably one of my favorite places in Thailand I went to. It's a huge national park with a huge lake, natural beauty, and you can take cruises and you can go hiking. I did like an overnight cruise to like a villa that's like floating. It was not the best thing I've ever done, but definitely not the worst. I would recommend it if you're in Thailand to go to Koh Sak National Park. I met some really cool people. They were a little bit older and a lot more mature, and not the dumbasses you meet at the full moon party. After Koh Sak, I basically was overdosed on Thailand. I was like, had enough of Thailand and all the British people and all the Israelis. And so I went back to Bangkok. And then from Bangkok, I took the bus to Cambodia. So that was basically just a small little highlight of my Thailand trip. And that fundamentally is the problem with Thailand. Is it's all the other foreigners. I split the foreigners you meet in Thailand into 4 different groups. The first one being the older Western sexpat. That's the old creepy perverted man that goes to Thailand to indulge in you know what. You mostly find them in Pattaya city. That's in northwest Thailand. But if you're a backpacker, you probably will avoid those people because you're just not going to go to those places that those guys hang out. The second group of people that you'll meet in Thailand is the inexperienced backpacker kid. Now, there's nothing wrong with being inexperienced. We've all been there. But Thailand, I feel like, is the place where all the kids go right out of uni. So as someone like myself who's traveled around the world and is a little older, just running into the groups of young British kids that had absolutely no experience in traveling and this was their first experience outside of their gated community. It was a bit tiring after a while. That's the second group. The third group would be like the mainstream, like family tourist, like the mostly Russians you see on the beaches of like Koh Samui. That's a big group of people there. There's nothing wrong with being that group, but they're everywhere usually, in their resorts, you know, the Disneyland crowd. And then the fourth group I would lump in would be the neo-colonial Israeli. They're everywhere, dude. Especially Pai. There's a big enclave of them in Pai. And all over the place. And it's a completely infested Thailand. It's very sad. But yeah, fundamentally, that's the truth of Thailand, is it's like, it's a nice place. Objectively, it's a nice place to go to, but it's just overrun with foreigners, and it's ruined it. People throw the word mass tourism around a lot, and I think that word gets overused a lot, but I think Thailand would be one of the few places it actually applies to. Mass tourism has just ruined it, ruined the whole country. And the truth is if you've been around the world a couple times, the experience in Thailand as a foreigner, a foreign tourist, can be a little lackluster, a little underwhelming, considering how hyped the country is. It's just people hype it up and they think it's this great experience, but like, I think there's other places that are kind of cool and not as overrun with foreigners. So that's my final thoughts on Thailand. Beautiful country, objectively, the locals are great. The history, the culture is cool, but just other foreigners have ruined it. So just beware when you go. Tread carefully, especially if you're an older, more experienced traveler. Just tread carefully. It's not going to be as fun as people hype it up to be. But if you're a young, child, and it's your first time away from home, you'll probably like it. Your first backpacking experience.
It's a living storybook. It all seems a fantasy, but it's there and waiting for the modern traveler. A dream come to life.